Welcome, everyone. I am of God. I'm grounded to the earth. I want to roll a die first for some reason. I'm going to roll the die for the twin flames today. Today is November 17th, 2020. So we have Saturn here. We have Cancer. And we have the number 7. And 7 is that, you can't even see the 7 on here in this lighting, but you can see it. I'll turn the light on in a little while, but I want to leave it off for now. So the 7 is otherworldly. It's the calm before the storm. It's very spiritual. It is the energy of getting sick, even because it puts you in a place of silence so that you can connect with your inner self. And we have Capricorn from Saturn and also Cancer, which are on the opposite axis from each other, Capricorn and Cancer. So we're dealing with that axis today, as well as the number 7, which is the Chariot, which is Cancer as well. So a lot of that axis today of Capricorn and Cancer, the paternal and the maternal energies playing off of each other. As we go into the eclipse energies Friday, but it's Thursday night because it's first thing in the morning. So I think the eclipse is, depending on where you are, I'm on the East Coast. The eclipse runs from around 2 in the morning till around 5, somewhere around there. I think the peak point on the East Coast was 4:02 exactly. Mid-Central, they said 3:03, so it's within that minute of 2 or 3. So again, it's in the night between Thursday and Friday. So you might want to watch Sam the Illusionist. They're talking about the soul swapping machine on the moon that they use to recycle souls. He had talked about in one of his videos when you cross over, you're being enticed to go to the moon as opposed to the sunlight. So when you're crossing over, if you pass, go towards the sun, not the moon. But the moon is artificially made or placed there, and the dark energies had created, and this is, long, long time ago, had created a soul swapping machine there, so that as soon as you left the planet, if you were drawn towards the moonlight, they could put you right back into the matrix on Earth. So you wouldn't even have a chance to, choose what you want to do next. You'd just automatically be in this cycle of coming right back to Earth again. So anyway, what Sam had said was this eclipse is the longest lunar eclipse in 580 years, and that's the 58 of the Four of Swords, which for me is the 5D connection between the twins. But that this is the time where they can actually get this machine off planet, but of course the dark are going to try to invade and try to keep them from doing that. So there's this energy of us, we're supposed to be sending our love light to the moon, especially if you go to sleep on Thursday night. Or he also had talked about, if you want to actually imagine yourself going there so you can connect with them while they're trying to get the soul swapping machine off planet to help out, you're welcome to do that as well. But listen to his video so you understand more clearly. Let's go ahead and take a couple deep breaths. Turn this around. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. The train horn was just blowing here. Sending lots of love and blessings to everybody out there. Thank you so much for being here with me, you guys. And let's get right into the messages. They were really beautiful messages that came in. I used the Metatron deck. That's the first read that I'm going to show you. And then I have a message of the day, a quick one. And then we have the union and the twin flame read in front of you. So this is the first read, and I'm going to show you by the read. I'll show the picture right before the read so you know which one it is. So this is my Metatron morning read. And this was so cool. All right, so the colors came up as gold was the first card actually in the underlying energies, along with pink, white, indigo, green, and red. but the underlying energies was all that peachy pink, orange, and gold energy against the purple indigo energy. It's all 3 cards were that color. It was beautiful. Like, it was amazing that all of those similar cards came out together. The Holy Grail, streaming that golden white light upward towards the moon, perhaps for this eclipse at the moon, sending light towards the moon. As I explained to you, the battle over the soul cycle machine from the 18th to the 19th, as the eclipse is happening. And I wrote as, but it looks like ES, which again references back to Lisa Renee's website, but also ES for me is S in Sophia. And then I was getting under the boardwalk, right? So the boardwalk was coming up here as the ancestors stream out of the water as if from heaven above, always reminded of them in the sunset. The pier was coming up here, like the pier going into the ocean off the boardwalk, but also up here, like your piers, but also appearing out of nowhere, showing gratitude and compassion, and spirits connecting with me, for all of those who have gone before you. The stream of golden white light leaves a stain, which they're playing with me on that because my last name is Stainthorpe, leaves a stain on the sky from the grandmother's womb, the Sophia, displaying the sunset connection, like the Muppet movie, the rainbow connection, in contrast to the full moon lunar eclipse that is blood red in the shadow energies without light. The longest lunar eclipse in 580 years, as the Beaver Taurus full moon peaks at 4:02. This eclipse peaks at 4:02, 3:03 Central, per NASA, pre-dawn, and lasts about 3 hours and 30 minutes. It's noticeable about 1:20 Central Time or 2:20 Eastern Time, and it is red due to the Rayleigh scattering red light, as the red rays have a longer wavelength than the blue light. The red travels more directly through the atmosphere than the blue. The blue scatters, and this is from AL.com. The red, orange, yellow energies pass through the atmosphere to reach our eyes much more easily, so that's why we see the red. The more dust or clouds on the Earth atmosphere, the more red you will see at this kind of full moon. So it's called the Beaver, but it's also known as the Hunter, the Mourning, as in mourning, like grieving, and then the Reed, which has to do with the harvesting, and then the Frost moon, of course, because of the first frosts. So a sudden events of shocking gold in the sky, showing that you are held in your grief and endings by your ancestors in energetic exchange. So they're saying what you see at sunset and actually at dawn as well, the beautiful sky is telling you they're connecting with you. That's what you're seeing, the heaven in your eyes. The sunset and the sunrise and sunsets, allowing a glimpse of your energy to reflect back at you. Hands across the water, so heads across the sky. So they're literally saying it's your ancestors reflecting back at you. The movement needed for the hermit in endings, compassions, and completions. The pink shell of inspiration to self-nurture, and the white energy of the King of Swords, purity and innocence. The diamond light and the angel wing. The indigo child, complete under the star, enjoying the sunrise, the sunset, and or eclipses, marking a completion here. So remember, this eclipse hasn't happened for 580 years. So, that's a big heralding, so to speak. And right as I finished that sentence at 11:03 to 4, which is the Empress and the Emperor and Justice, I heard a tweet outside, but I haven't been seeing any birds because it's getting cold. So I went to take my video to put it on my sill to see if I could capture any birds going by. But I don't think it was a bird at all. There was an older mother or a grandmother with a young child walking by my house at the time, and I think the tweet of the bird was, a bird just flew by to show me there are birds out there. That's so funny because I hadn't seen them all day. I just saw another one pass by too. They just like kind of scoured over my lawn. But earlier I videotaped for a while and not one bird showed up on the video. So this grandmother type person with a child passed by, and the child like squealed in delight, and I captured a picture of them actually finding something on the sidewalk, whether it was a leaf or something else, I don't know, but they bent down to look at it. So it was that innocence of a child that's coming up here. Then communication and freedom of speech, where the land meets the sea, the message in the bottle, or a shell in a clarion call, surrounded by indigos, magenta pink and emerald green, of the Knight of Cups and the heart healing, the karma of lighting up the grid as a twin and taking your first steps in conquering fears of your dreams actually coming true. As Sandalphon is with you on each step of the way, as the wounded warrior's kundalini rises to burn off their wounds, like revving the engine, burning off the last of the wounds away to release the trapped energy, to untrap it. At 11:10, which is justice and the Wheel of Fortune in a turn for the better. And by the way, when I put down these, oh, that was for the next one, okay. So at 11:11, letting go of control, the Emperor stability, the Godhead, the number 4, where orange fall meets the winter with periwinkle and aqua feathers sprinkling. Love. As love blooms in the heart, as the pink rose of red and white, and coming to the middle in Mother Gaia's aqua pool with gold tinges. The heart fully opened after the lotus is fully crowned. It's like the safe. When it's aligned just so, it suddenly opens with no effort at all. The lowercase I with the dot, as I always describe as the chakra system in the third eye, was coming up here as the crown and the chakra system, and then the reversal of that, which is the exclamation point. And I'd written this the other day by accident in the margin of my notes, because I dotted 2 things and then drew a line between them, which represents both the lowercase I and the exclamation point, which is coming up here, but toggling to the left. That line becomes a toggle, showing towards the left with a dot above and below, the third eye crowning, so the one dot is the third eye to the crown, the other dot is the heart-to-heart conversations, or the lower heart, the physical heart, to the higher heart of the etheric heart, and the conversations that meet in the middle, which is the throat chakra, toggling to the left to use compassion of the feminine when the masculine wants to be direct and to the point. The 2 key gates of authentic self, the throat into the mouth and through the nostrils, and the womb from the fallopian tubes and the vaginal canal. The kissing and the lovemaking is the rainbow connection from sea to shining sea at 11:21 of justice and the world of completion. The key to the heart and the chakra system, the ray that shoots up through the emerald into the diamond light on the wings of angels, the hieros gamos, the pure love light, stops at the heart for physical cleansing, and then off the chart to the cosmos for soul purification. The lover's inner children, their authentic selves, letting go to love with passion for life, is Spirit still connecting with me, as the Knight of Wands, as the shaman read, of truth and safety, strength and sovereign power, of the mother's creation, abundance and expansion in your life, as you flower through all of the colors of the rainbow. And then evolution, it just got kind of shady here. Then evolution came up and a bird just landed on my lawn there. Evolution, that word came up, and of course my name is Ev, so of course it caught my eye. So I looked it up, okay, what are they trying to say about the divine feminine and Ev? So it came up. It came up as a couple different ways before I got to this point. So first it was like evolution, and there's no word olution, but there is olation, which is the process of ionic metal ions forming polymeric oxides of aqua or aqueous solution. So there's the aqua solution of the mother in the heart, and the solution of the mother, right? So there's always a play on words here, and ions is connection. So the elation brings up that definition for a reason. But also, I broke it down further, since elution isn't a word, and the Ev of the divine feminine representing as me. That's how spirit gets my attention. It came up as the Ev essence, the life essence, is their aim. The chief aim is the evolution. Also the beer connection came up here, which is really weird because I haven't drank beer in a long time, because it really gives me a headache. I haven't had beer in a long, long time. The Olu, O-L-U, comes up as existence and essence and circumstance. The leader, the head, the chief, the mushroom, which is like the mushroom of the explosion, the shrubbery, the pumpkin. So that mushroom is like the Hieroskamos energy. So that was initially coming up. And how much you're willing to take, that also came up in the definition there. But then evolution comes up here as EVO, the long period of time, or the era, to see, behold, eternity. And then Lut, L-U-T, came up, or Lut. And then, of course, I-O-N is connection. So what came up here was, after a long, long period, which can be represented by that line between the two dots, after a long, long period, an eternity, to see, to behold, apart and inclined, I plead, soak in alkaline lye with dirt and mud, bend over and enter, seal the deal to make it airtight, a loud and strong articulation or serenade with lute, for this ion or connection or ion connection, for an eternity that Eve has been begging for this connection, and I humble myself before her, if to only allow her love, my love, our love, ever thine, ever mine, ever ours. As Spirit's connecting with me, it's making me want to cry. The Page of Cups birthing the new, the romantic Mother Earth. And for those of you who think that Earth isn't romantic, how could you think that? Looking around at the Earth, at the beauty and the romance of it, of the sunset and the sunrise. Mother Earth preserving ground support in an effort to focus up to see the beauty in the sky, what the sky has to offer in the winter, which is why they're saying the snow covers the ground, so you will look up. While the plants do their winter hibernation thing to cool things down for the fire that follows when humans are cold. After icing the moon in the lunar eclipse, here comes the sun as the dragon's breath. Thursday Eve into Friday's masculine fire, after the blood moon and clearing out the soul swapper, the sun rises in to completely a new dawn here. And that was at 11:44 to 45, which was the time of my birth. At night, not during the day, but you see the connection there. So at 11:46 a.m. this morning, which is Justice and the two children hugging each other in this deck, the Seer and Starseed deck, the action of being alone by day, the indigo starry night, to complete the activation of the twin flame grid, and you light up my life. As fall changes to winter and we let go of control, there's then the column of compassionate, inspired communication, perhaps a special letter or call, about changes, about all your dreams coming true, as you conquer your fears, a step at a time, with love, relationship, and harmony, with so much love here. The third column is the diamond purification of the King of Swords, the emerald green healing of the Knight of Cups, the wounded warrior Kundalini rising into the Six of Cups, children hugging each other, the inner child, the authentic self, about to enter the new dawn. Passion and creativity, the evolution of the innocent, in merging the moon and the sun which is then on Earth in the middle, 0-point field. So this is what this eclipse is. The Earth is in the middle, merging the opposing forces of the sun and the moon in 0-point field, which is why it's so powerful then at the eclipse to do work. At 11:54, Justice and the 54 of the Page of Swords, the message, getting the message across. So that was this first message, which I love that. It was so romantic and beautiful. So you might want to listen to that again. I might actually read it to myself again. It was really beautiful. All right, so here is the second message of the day. And this is coming from the Animal Spirit Guidebook, the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Guidebook, the Lenormand Reverie, the Gilded Tarot, and the Kipper deck. So the message of the day here was the underlying energy of the buffalo, the dice, the Queen of Swords reversed, and distant horizons. Well-grounded and heavenly too, taking a chance on love as the Knight of Cups, or with the Knight of Cups, with the Queen of Swords reversed, with distant horizons and ships that have sailed, with Atlas without water to float the boat in. The buffalo distracted by a teacher's or professional conference, of the crow, the crow's distance, the octopus and the old whale who may be retiring, and the dragon with an eye on the lamb and the moth's transformations, the young'uns, the deer one, the zebra, and the horse come up 3 in a row. They look like a family here. They're all beautiful together. The keynote speakers, or watching me, or 3 of a kind, very similar, and all with the same doe eyes, those deer one eyes, of 2 parents and a child, or 1 parent and 2 children, or mother, father, child, God, source, facing or watched by the elk hothead, the fish out of water, the angry panther, the stingray plugged in and turned on and fully activated, and the carpenter bee and the buffalo on top, seeing what they have to say, or perhaps they haven't seen them in a while. The hermit with flowers and gifts, stable home and burdened by Atlas and the weight of the world, frustrated man with a choice to make about taking a chance on love, the Knight of Cups. The Emperor or Aries implementing a plan for big love, the Holy Grail, with their eye on the prize according to the moon cycles and Cancer reversed, or perhaps past deceptions, or somebody with Cancer in their chart, an eclipse of a marriage, a religion, an establishment, or Taurus upright, without peace, with the Queen of Swords reversed, or a grieving widow in the journey of despair and imprisonment and occupation with energetic exchange or the arrows of love, and the Knight of Cups community with loving, mature woman, hermiting with changes of distant horizons with the buffalo and the Queen of Swords reversed, not talking, with the Knight of Cups in between them, which again is coming up as Earth with this eclipse. The first section here was just the peacock, the high priestess who's lucky, and that's feminine energy as well, the number 2, or getting multiple wishes and letting go by laying their cards on the table, inspired by great fortune. The second section here is the otter, the eagle, the lizard, the collective snake, and the owl. At 119 is the magician and the sun. The innocent otter, curious about the eagle landing, or catching or trapping the lizard, trying to get at the collective awakening, with the wise owl nearby on the other side, keeping an eye on things. And a hoot, probably sending some little funny messages like our spirits do, our spirit guides do. And by the way, I rolled the dice for this message of the day, and it came up with Pisces, 10, and Venus, which is so beautiful and romantic and loving. A turn for the better, Pisces, 1 foot in this world, 1 foot in the other, and then Venus of love. The otter with lover or family breakthrough, with the sun coming out about the 10 of Cups reversed, unhappy family or an end to an emotional cycle that's way overdue. A destined journey, perhaps to the baker, or on a train, or the love train, or really slow turtle, the baker's man, bake me a cake as fast as you can, hurry up. The eagle with big love here, and well wishes of the 2 of Cups intense connection with the Queen of Cups who's working really hard, toiling and laboring, and weaving, and or pulling strings, as the lizard gift or power lady presently spending a lot or dumping a lot of dysfunction on a wise privileged lady, or perhaps on her daughter, and or a wedding or house. Collective awakening in a public meet or parks, nature reserves, With Hermit reversed, perhaps with dementia or Alzheimer's, or, losing their mental faculties, or literally just someone losing their mind, falling over the edge, or coming out. The man with sudden thoughts of a woman. The owl, pure and wise, fox, leaving the hen house or park on a fox chase of a higher love with patience and balance, but frustrated, unable to find any inspiration, arousal, or humor, unable to comprehend with judgment here, a big house, this could be a money pit as well, or the big house, or a gated community, and not being understand the worthiness of it. The Ten of Cups here, the Ten of Cups reversed connecting here with the Ten of Pentacles reversed. So it's like the Montagues and the Capulets, but both reversed and upside down, not happy, or a loss of money, a loss of family member, or just dysfunctional use of time, money, and effort from the Ten of Pentacles reversed. And the Ten of Cups reversed is an emotional mess. It's the two families coming together, connecting to come out and vent their frustration. So it's like a public forum here in a public way. It can be like a community park where people come together to voice their issues. The destined journey of the Queen of Cups, who worked very hard to be who she is, or perhaps worked very hard for their daughter to be who they are. And a man now with sudden thoughts of a woman and a house and with a gate in the front. The third section here is the hawk, the shark, or the shark first, then the hawk, then the nightingale, the fox, and the elephant, who's very auspicious. The shark is coming in as the hawk clears the way for them, or clears the air for them, for the nightingale songbird with a pure voice backed up by the fox and the elephant, who are very loyal and auspicious. The shark in a wise community of birds, starring as the wealthy man in transition, the hawk transmuting energies between them and the songbird, as the hawk is nesting with dreams coming true with the golden egg and things looking up, synchronicities and choices, and heaven in their eyes. The King of Cups, with their inner child, or perhaps informed consent, impoverished, right? Choosing to choose this life. Walking away, rich man, poor man, as the nightingale calls as he transforms. So it's like the power of the purity of the voice transforms him. It's kind of like, I'm thinking of Frankenstein when he's like being called and he can't help himself but go when he's being called, when he hears the music. The call of abundance and sailing right on through with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, who's stuck, stubborn, or unable to function. And that's where my Nat friend showed up at 137, the Magician and the King of Cups. Unforgettable, that's what you are. So that's coming up again. With home or union judication here. The fox in abundant energetic exchange, or the hours of love and flow, with the Knight of Wands reversed also, paralyzed by their passions. So one's paralyzed, unable to function in their daily duties, the other one paralyzed by their passions as an official on the Fool's journey. The elephant is clearing the way with each step they take, with justice, rod and staff, and cracking the whip with third party, main female. The community could be nesting here and traveling, doing grid work perhaps, in energetic exchange, going with the flow of rod and staff justice, which is truth and balance. The dreams of healing and synchronicities and heaven, with the Knight of Pentacles and Knight of Wands both reversed, unable to come together, or they are bad influences, overindulging, or social distancing. The wealthy man who passed or transformed into loving inner child in union judication with an official, or to make an official with the High Priestess, main female. So it's literally coming together here at 142, which is the Magician and the Two of Cups. Magically coming together in connection of soulmates. All right, so I'm going to turn the light on now, and now we're going to go back to the union read and then the twin flame read. So the union read's a really quick one today. Just want to make sure I'm looking at the right one. Okay. So let me pull up my little pointer here. So for those of you not familiar with my union read, And it is 29:50 on the clock. If you want to, anyone wants to put the times down below, they are welcome to do so. So this is the union read. I'm sorry, this is not the union read. This is the union read. That was the read in front of you on the table. So the union read is the 4D, 5D, 6D, feminine on the left, masculine on the right. The bridge between them, or perhaps the earth today in the center, as the day the earth stood still, the incoming divine feminine, the outgoing divine masculine, the underlying energies of justice, and the closing energies over here, which is the Page of Pentacles, very curious about their abilities. The read in front of you is this read here. Both of them are the Syrian Starseed deck. And the full 7-deck read here. It's a lot of energy. They are both general reads, so don't force every message to fit. The first read is focused on the physical union between the masculine and the feminine. This is more of a general energy for all of the twins, but they're both general readings. If you want something more specific, you can connect with me. My information's below, as well as on my website, twinflames3344.com. And yep, those are the pictures of those two reads. So as we go into the union read, this is 4D, 5D, 6D again for today. The underlying energy being justice, the central energy, the Knight of Wands with a slow burn, and the Page of Pentacles, curious about their abilities. This was at 8:40, which the 8 is the dance between the masculine and feminine. The 40 is the Page of Cups, which is that pure inner child innocence. The justice divine ringing a bell, half in and half out of the portal with blinders on, and that can represent the eclipse of being half in, half out, with blinders on. The Knight of Wands royal with slow burn, and the Page of Pentacles curious about their abilities. The incoming divine feminine with the Knight of Swords, the Two of Wands, which is the twin flames, and the Two of Swords, being in your knowing and keeping to yourself, right? Not telling or pretending like you don't know. The divine feminine here sending the 5D messages to the twin flames, knowing and keeping to themselves, or blissfully pretending to be unaware. In the 4D here is the Ace of Wands, the Knight of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune, the Great Wheel. The divine feminine passion ignited as the divine masculine's destined to sealed container, bridging with the Knight of Cups in the green room, riding the wave, swimming in a place right into the whale's or shark's clutches. It's like I was getting the image of Pinocchio, where they swim right into the whale's mouth. Like I have you right where I want you. The 5D is the Six of Cups, Knight of Wands, and the Hanging Man. The divine feminine loving inner children, the divine masculine hanging out with right knee block, exuding light, and bridging with the Knight of Wands royal flame in the 5D. The 6D, which is also the place of instant manifestation. So remember, in the 6D, there's not going to be any negativity, because this is heaven, 5D is heaven on earth. It's the jump off point to all of the other dimensions. The 6D is the Five of Wands, the Four of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles. The divine feminine with waves of flames, creating heat waves. The divine masculine with Queen of Pentacles with a stiff upper lip, losing time, money, and effort. Bridging in home, union, or castle with a welcoming drawbridge. Red and white roses, which of course comes up pink in the middle. Blending roses in the War of the Roses. The outgoing divine masculine is the Shadow, Ascension, and the King of Wands. The shadow web, a sense of the world, with the King of Wands shaman, talking in the shadows as burp was coming up. I don't know why. It was weird. It was just stuck in my throat. Talking in the shadows, which may be representing talking in the shadows, around the world in ascension community with the King of Wands shaman and the Page of Pentacles, the curious child with an opportunity or invite to explore. The divine feminine inspired to connect with soul tie in the pursuit of their happiness. The divine masculine destined to hang out with the Queen of Pentacles, and the bridge between the masculine and feminine of the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands, drawn into union with that drawbridge. The divine feminine with Libra on her side, and the Knight of Swords, which Knight of Swords can be a Libra, twin flames, and the third flame on the feminine side, the divine masculine with Pisces or Capricorn, as well as Libra, Capricorn, and Pisces again, and then the Queen of Pentacles, King of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles come up here on the masculine side. So Queen of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, and then the King of Wands. Pisces and Capricorn with balls in their hands, one each. It's like in the 4D, one has a very dense ball in their hand, and the 6D is a very etheric ball in their hand, or a clear crystal. So it's referencing like knowing where they are by what kind of ball they have in each in their hand. But it's a funny statement too, so you can take it any which way it comes to you. So Pisces and Capricorn with balls in their hands, and the overall number is 20, which is judgment, with the horizontal pillars coming up as 9, 6, and 5, which is the Hermit, the Lovers, and the Hierophant. And the vertical pillars came up as 0, 2, 2, which is the High Priestess times 2, or the 22 of the Fool. And then 12 of the Hanging Man, 4 of the Emperor, and then 4 zeros all in a row, which is a whole lot of source energy building up for that Hieros Gamos. We have the Hermit Lovers with the Hierophant Judgment or Decision and or Wake-Up Call here, the Final Judgment. The Fool hanging out with the Emperor with lots of cushions and announcement of a wake-up call. The Fool's awakening to Source. There's this echo of Source all across the land at 9:18, which is my birthday, which is funny. So that's the 9 of the Hermit and the 18 of the Moon, which is also Virgo and Cancer, which I'm Virgo with Cancer rising. So it's very cool how that comes up. Okay, so I'm getting now, they say it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday to ya. They say it's your birthday. So that's coming up for whatever reason. It's not my birthday, but they're saying this eclipse is like the twins' birthday. All right, now I'm going the wrong way, I think. Okay. And the train's blowing their horn again right now, as the love train came up in that read earlier. So the movie I watched last night was called Alter Ego. And I didn't think I was really going to like it much when I started watching it. But it was about child sexual abuse and the PTSD that you experience as an adult of child sexual abuse. So if you want to watch that and clear some of that energy, it's a good idea, because it's really intensely into child sex abuse as the adult looking back. So the read in front of you is cut and dealt at 944, which is the Hermit, and the 44 of the Four of Cups, which is also grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, especially receiving it, but also is the Atlas energy in the numerology book, the Divine Triangle. At 759 is the Hermit, and the 59 of the Five of Swords, the War Within, becomes the War Without, because there's only truth and no love. And it's his truth, her truth, and the truth. So which truth is it? So we have what came up as I was clarifying at 9:59 was of flames, and flames can be the twin flames, it can be drama, it can be fire, and being burned, right? That energy of being too much. And then MES also came up, which is, in French, it's plural for my, like our. So of the flames, whatever it is, whether it's drama, the twins, or the fire, the passion, it's ours, right? Because we're a collective, we're all one. And it's the war within is the war without, and it affects us all. And it's interesting how they're reflecting the swords and the wands, which is very much that masculine, difficult energy, as opposed to the cups and the pentacles, which in the tarot are much more beneficial when you get to the 10 of cups and the 10 of pentacles, as opposed to the 10 of wands and the 10 of swords. Much more challenging. At 10:21 I completed here, which is that 10 of completion of the 10 pyramid that I was discussing with you yesterday, being the end of the cycle. It's the 0 point of the Godhead at the top, along with the 1D, 2D, and 3D, and then the 21 of the world and completion. We have the shadow, which is the devil, the wheel, the great fortune, the wheel of fortune, or the great wheel in this deck, Luna, which is the moon, and then before the read, the tower came up, and after the read, justice and solar deity, which is the sun. So Scorpio is the tower in the underlying energies, which we're leaving Scorpio soon at the end of this weekend, and then shadow is the devil, which is also Capricorn. The wheel is, for me, Libra. Luna is Cancer, and then justice is Libra, and the solar deity is Leo, or the very childlike energies. We have 1 pentacle, 2 cups, 1 sword, and 4 wands. The Knight of Pentacles, as well as the King excuse me, the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands not only came up in that message of the day, but here they are as the main players in our read, the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. Weren't they the two that came up reversed in my read? Yeah. One paralyzed by their day-to-day life and the other one paralyzed by their passions. So before the read, the Queen of Cups came up, as well as the Nine of Pentacles, which is that sovereign energy. And that can be her own sovereignty, the Queen of Cups, or her and perhaps a child of hers who's independent. After the read, the King of Swords came up. So we have these two knights who were reversed in the messages of the day, but were they reversed in my read? And I don't think they were. The Knight of Pentacles is upright. And the Knight of Wands, I'm not sure. Yeah, they're both upright. So they were reversed in my messages, which I did today. This I did last night. So they were upright in this read, and then this morning they came up reversed, again becoming paralyzed, right, by their fears. And they could be you guys as the masculine and the feminine. They can be children. They can be people at work. They can be two kids in the neighborhood up to no good, right, especially if they're reversed. They could be doing stuff to people's properties. So we have triple tens here and double sevens. The triple tens is that really clear, pure, high vibration, to keep it really high going to this eclipse and send your love light that way. Or perhaps if you want to join up and be a warrior and fight the battle on the moon, you might want to join with a group who's doing that. I know that Elizabeth April does that kind of work, and there are many others who are going to be joining to do that kind of stuff too. But watch Sam the Illusionist video if you're interested in that. 77 is the sovereignty energy. So really high vibrational and sovereign. Like, don't consent to things that you're not interested in. Like, we sign consent so easily when someone says, puts in a consent in front of you, right? Like I explained the other day when my water heater broke. And then they give you an electronic form to sign, and you're worried because there's a bunch of water in your basement. You're really not thinking about this, and you have to sign it because they have to clean it up. But what are you actually signing? And did they actually show you everything they're signing? Which, no, they didn't, right? So even I, do that too. I mean, we all fall into being that 3D human again, of trusting someone outside of ourselves to make decisions for us. And of course, there are situations where someone comes into the rescue because you need help, and that's okay too. And no matter what you do, don't get on your case about it. Just come back to 0 point again. Come back to center. Come back to the moment. So we have 23 of the King of Wands. We have 67 of the Knight of Pentacles. 710, which is 0 behind 71, which is, for me, the co-creation card, the Three of Pentacles. And then we also have 36 of the Atlas energy, the weight of the world, the 10 of Wands. The 710, which is 0 behind 71. I told you that one already. But 710. And then also 35 of the Wounded Warrior, which is 9 of Wands. 56 of the Two of Swords. And then 79, which is the Pot of Gold at the end of the rainbow. And 910, begin again and again and again. Domestic harmony is the message on the code line, and the number was 20, coming from 7, 3, and 10. And I was just getting news stations, so instead of 3, 6, and 10, it was coming up 7, 3, and 10. I don't know if there's something changing there, but 20 comes up as judgment, a decision, a wake-up call, an announcement, perhaps piping in music somewhere. It can be a funeral service as well. But again, it's the collective awakening of the dead, right? The message is all about domestic harmony, which was broken up into dom, estic, and har-money. That could be monies as well. So, and again, whereas evolution came up before with Ev, here ES, which are my initials, come up. So it's all about the divine feminine here. The messages about this code line came up as such. Time to say stepdaughter, perhaps you're bringing in another child into the family, toggling to the left. Addie, the name Addie's coming up here, ADE, or that can be an aid, or having an aid, or getting aid. And the vehicle of destiny. So again, time to say stepdaughter. So if it's the name and Addie's coming up here specifically. but an aid or a vehicle, right? The vehicle of infiltration of your destiny to take the high road to the ultimate domestic harmony. Tea or stone, show of power, reflecting to the nth degree, the aid or addy. That can come up as advertising as well, even though it has an E on the end of it. They're just telling me that now. But again, advertising, because then 7 comes up as the channel 7 that I was just talking about. But the Chariot is the feminine within the masculine in a high vibration destiny, taking the high road of the moral man, to feel, to stand, to look at, to have sex with, money, egg, testicle, penis, the domain of man, the caterpillar, the honorable grace. Also toggling up to like or to be healthy. Expanding and contracting or staying in the middle, reflecting to the nth degree in aiding and abetting I was just getting. And again, the aid, this can be like a charitable concert too, like whatever aid. But that can be a drink as well as the name Addie. And that can be lots of different names. And then the Chariot being the great wheel, the destiny, the high vibration, perhaps threatening domestic harmony. Maybe someone is so used to chaos at home that they feel like domestic harmony is a threat to them. The great wheel of threatening domestic harmony, the verdict stands, hinging on money or balls, perhaps having the balls to do something. Shadow is the underlying energy here reversed. All right, so detoxing the shadow here. Perhaps some shadow work with the mini cards on top. And underneath that is the 10 of Cups upright, the Queen of Cups upright, the 9 of Pentacles upright, the Tower reversed, and then the 5 of Cups upright before the shadow reversed on top. So the 10 of Cups, perhaps a happy family or a happy ending, or emotionally fulfilled of the Queen of Cups, the sovereign. So that could be her sovereignty or her and a daughter or child, or perhaps a friend, another earth sign perhaps, or after avoiding sudden changes and or disaster, grieving loss or regret and detoxing the shadow, coming in with good news or receiving good news, but not seeing eye to eye or in disconnect or at a distance with the King of Swords upright and the Emperor reversed, perhaps overworked or not working out. And again, it's the same with both. The King of Swords and the Emperor could be 2 separate people or 1 person, right? So maybe they're stepping down from power as the King of Swords. And maybe she's stepping into her sovereignty as the Queen of Cups. Okay, so overworked or not working out, and that could be no longer working, no longer holding on or clinging, or no longer being greedy, or no longer carrying the weight of the world and feeling guilt and shame. Not sleeping or awake and coming out about being overworked or not working out, and released from ties, prison or imprisonment, or a trap, and ending conflict with the world, or to complete a cycle without options, or stopping the fighting with Pisces or Divine Feminine after choosing an ex or the past. The fish and the bird watching out for her, since sticks and stones break bones and names hurt if you let them, or chaos around the neighborhood but doesn't seem to affect them. The bull and lion are mad they can't get to them. There's no West Side Story on the east side, on the other side of the tracks at 1233, which is the hanging man and the 33 of Christ vibration and standing up for oneself. And then at 1234, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, shut the door, and the 4 quarters, healing and forgiving, the fool is free with the sun at their back to go towards their secret passion and make magic together. The loyal friend to tag along, to leap with, and hooks in the curtains or trains, no problem with them there. The fool taking a leap with the high priestess not keeping their secrets and thus manifesting big with tools on the table and magic DNA strand. At 1239 is the hanging man and the Knight of Cups with deception, and beneath that, release your ex. So first was the release of the ex, the call to do that, and then the deception of somebody still wearing a mask. The 10 of Pentacles upright, fantasy mirror, and the Knight of Wands upright, rushing into the rescue as the wounded warriors telling their story to another on how they got caught with their pants down, as the King of Swords now being watched after sitting on his lap by the logs, then in the woods, and the King of Swords being serviced and watched. So there's a couple different scenarios that can happen there, but it's all about either someone innocently then having someone sit on their lap, and perhaps they didn't want them to, but they did, but then getting caught and falsely judged, or literally someone getting caught with their pants down, but someone who kept throwing themselves at them physically. So at one point they couldn't help themselves anymore and they were enticed and perhaps cheated. But this is the energy of someone after some kind of event like that, or just the energy between the masculine and the feminine, and the sexual exchange between the masculine and feminine etherically, telling the story about how they got caught, and the King of Swords now being watched, perhaps at work or at home, after sitting on his lap by the logs. Then in the woods, and the King of Swords being serviced and watched. So again, now no one trusts them. That's that kind of energy that's coming up here. Or how she told him she'd always dreamed of being rescued by a fireman and threw herself at him, and now he's not trusted and tired of unwanted advances at 1249, which is the Hanging Man and the Nine of Cups. So it's coming up right now. I don't like bringing this up because it's a difficult topic for people, but they just brought it up, so I have to bring it up to you. So the energetic exchange, and all twins are different as to what they actually feel between each other when they're not in each other's presence. And some people feel the sexual energy when they're with somebody else sexually. And so what I want to bring up with you guys is, because it's a very traumatic experience to experience initially, right? And throughout for some. But it's also the energy of clearing the Tease energy, right? Because the feminines, when you really think about it, are learning to go through this experience and rise above, which just in itself is a very difficult thing to do. But also learning that what men feel like on a day-to-day basis, because they can't control their manly functions, right? So if they see something that's alluring to them, they get an erection, right? Which is, even though the person wasn't doing it to them purposely because they just looked at them, the other person didn't do a thing. But it's the energy of getting aroused all the time and not being able to act on it. So it's the same thing with feeling your masculine having sex with their partner or whoever they're with, or even just, touching himself. You may feel that as well. Realizing the energy of being aroused suddenly and not being able to act on it. So again, it's the balancing out of the feminine being able to understand what the masculine experiences as a man, which is very important here. And it's not to say or take your pain away, okay? That's not the point here. But it's about the balance of energies and what's actually at play here and what wounds are clearing. So here again is the masculine not wanting unwanted advances, not wanting women throwing themselves at them at 1249. But again, it's about them needing to be strong, right? So feminine, it's the opposite for the feminine. The feminine has to give birth. So if she gets pregnant, the masculine doesn't have to deal with it. She's got to sit with it in her for 9 months and then have a baby and be able to take care of it. So he needs to learn that wounding, right? What happens when you get stuck with a child? So there may be masculines playing that wound out, okay? So the Scorpio reversed, Capricorn reversed, Pisces upright and reversed, and the Aries upright, the Gemini and Virgo upright here. And again, we're in Scorpio, which is all about sex, death, and taxes, right? I'm digging really deep to understand the wounding we're clearing right here. Love comes up here with number 6, and beneath that was leadership, which is 81, the end of karma around the world. Not sharing, imbalance, dealing with debt or inequity of relationship, or avoiding disasters, or after sudden events, epiphanies, or energetic exchange, which includes sexual energy. After the sudden event with a soulmate or kids, drained and overexposed, ending conflict, the Page of Wands reversed, frustrated with big love and passion, keeping an eye on his stinger, or balancing a pen on his nose, or blowing a load with child upstairs, perhaps not voluntarily, or unable to control themselves, or frustrated picking out new flooring, or having to keep an eye on a child who's sleeping around or falls in love really easily. With Scorpio and Leo both reversed here, which can be the two knights, running around getting into trouble here. Or one is in love and they're sick about it, with new passion ignited or plugged in and turned on and detoxing without option to manifest big as the King of Swords and love that's unfair, right? All is fair in love and war, right? But we're changing that to just love. So we have at 1 a.m. this was a lot of source energy backing up the 1 of the Magician and the magic to be made. The Queen of Swords with light surrendering to the devil or the shadow side, and that can be her own shadow side, implementing a plan to drop the act in a downturn or twist of fate, the Knight of Swords reversed holding their tongue, and the Queen of Cups and King of Swords losing patience with an offer of new life to the King of Cups upright and the Page of Pentacles, or an opportunity, as the Queen of Cups with Libra reversed, or perhaps she just has Libra in her chart, sending love while the King of Swords is losing patience, offering payment to the King of Cups, expecting an opportunity or invitation in return perhaps, or some kind of message at least, at 107, the Magician and the Chariot. In the recent past is the Seven of Cups upright of synchronicities or options for a split or lie or to lie to kids, or exposing the split to the Page of Wands and the Page of Cups, which can be those two knights getting into trouble right now, and walking away, dropping the facade of a marriage, religion, and or establishment with Atlas in the weight of the world and the Knight of Wands and their rescue attempts. At 112 is the Magician and the 12 of the Hanging Man. The lovers reversed in a breakup at night or the full moon eclipse split. In a breakup, dumped or turned down the Knight of Cups offer, with Leo and Taurus both upright here. Okay, that can be the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. With Gemini reversed and Cancer upright here, perhaps Pisces too, the foundation is the Six of Cups upright, implementing a plan of the children loving each other, implementing a plan to break up at a party or to get rid of a third party. These can be kids trying to interfere between the masculine and the feminine, or purposeful lack of affection to manipulate, right? So if you can't get something done by communication, it's by doing some kind of act to make somebody really uncomfortable so they no longer want to be in that situation anymore, is what's coming up. The overindulgence here, there could be third party or purposeful lack of affection, or people who are partiers who are overindulging and they're obviously bad influences around, social distancing or just no joy at all, and that can be being antisocial as well as too social, to end conflict or losing patience, or with fallen angel for the Six of Cups loving inner children or outer children to be able to be together. The central energy here is the Knight of Pentacles, the loyal humble servant, the workhorse, and the wounded warrior stealing or cheating or running from the Queen of Cups and feeling justified and brooding. The wounded warrior Taurus, and the Queen of Cups with the Knight of Wands and Atlas runner between them, or a slave sneaking information from the Queen of Cups back to the wounded warrior Taurus, which can be one or two people, or the Hierophant at the religion and or establishment. Moving homes or visiting and challenged by the wheel upside down in a bad turn that's unfair or just timing isn't in your favor, not sharing that the King of Wands met up with the journeyman or a messenger for some good news that they didn't share. At work, the worst is over, that the time is now for bliss, in a happy ending, in a release and synchronicities, with lots of options and heaven in their eyes. The Queen of Pentacles is upright, trying to end the nightmare, as the Queen of Wands reversed is trying to see new perspectives, or feeling hung out to dry, or hanging out with Pisces or Capricorn. The Queen of Wands reversed is frustrated, wanting passion from the King of Pentacles reversed, star, or dream come true, or healer as well, or with Aquarius upright and Sagittarius reversed, girls, and detoxing the divine feminine sunshine and their constellations in a bold move to grieve or purge the Knight of Wands rushing in and then walking away. Frustrated King of Pentacles reversed is may be the star and the fallen angel. So here again is collapsing the two polarities to the middle, being both the savior and the perpetrator, right? The star and the fallen angel, detoxing the divine feminine day and night. And I was just getting Doris Day and Gladys Knight That's so funny. And now I'm just getting driving Miss Daisy and descending, feeling guilty about the Knight of Wands and walking away anyway. So feeling guilty, but still doing what you're feeling guilty about at 133, which is the Magician and the Christ energy of martyrdom. The now moment here is the Ten of Swords reversed, where the worst is over in a downturn with new information knocking them off balance, dumping a load, a burden, or responsibilities in a heated exchange in disconnect or at a distance with the Ace of Wands' new passion, in a bold move, or Cancer making them feel guilty or sad after blissful sex or sexual energy and offering time, money, and effort and or a new life, or hitting a home run and defenseless to the energies of the Queen of Swords reversed at night under the stars, putting it out there to touch in a losing battle with the Knight of Cups offering love to out-of-control devil and injustice of the past with the Empress upright, hanging out, inspecting. Is that the Empress? Yeah, the Empress hanging out, either inspecting or having someone else inspecting every inch, and pointed toes, and that can be an anal mother of a gymnast type person or ballerina, in inequitable relativity or relationship of codependency, somebody pushed to their emotional limit, not wanting to deal with this anymore, grounding and integrating rejected offers to the King of Wands, who's not sleeping or no longer sleeping with them, or rising above in a move or visit with the King of Cups upright and the Empress upright here. And soon as the Three of Wands reverse, looking back or living in the past, or looking back at the past, or reliving the past of synchronicities and options of the confusion and illusion that they experienced at 142, the Magician and the Two of Cups, and unable to conceive of or understand or grow in energetic exchange with no peaceful place to go or to get away, escape from it. With the King of Wands upright, self-satisfied, pacifying the beast with new information and seeing new perspectives, or just hanging out frustrated, not aroused or humored, no growth or inspiration at 143, the Magician and the Three of Cups of coming together. The twin flames seeing themselves as the Knight of Wands upright, being passionate about a cause, the Knight of Pentacles offering help or their services to those without, and the Sovereign offering a big opportunity to end the wars, the suffering, with the King of Pentacles reversed, letting go to fix, repair, or make amends, or kids or employees giving freely, but the King of Pentacles reversed ends up paying for it. He may not have given his permission for that. Giving big money, perhaps. These children or co-workers may be giving away money to PTSD victims or homeless people or children of destitution, or offering the King of Pentacles money or his free services. The Sovereign is offering to end the war, and the Knight of Pentacles is helping to end battles, and the King of Pentacles reversed is losing time, money, and energy trying to fix things. With engagement, retreat, and heart-to-heart conversations around the twins or how they're seen is the moon, Luna, at night, or the full moon eclipse, Thursday to Friday, which is tomorrow night, without option but to step up to the plate and send a message or take a swing. Maybe I'll try it out. Maybe I'll try being a warrior on the moon this weekend. Or maybe you're just going to send your love light when you go to sleep at night. The Hermit reverse coming out with guns blazing, or yelling at the Page of Pentacles, or trying to hold their tongue and not yell because the Page of Pentacles finally looks so pleased with what they've accomplished, right? They felt like they did really well. Sagittarius upright here, Cancer upright, and Virgo reversed, challenged by the Ten of Cups, Atlas leaving the wounded warrior behind, no longer the victim mentality. Taming the beast, or perhaps taming your pet, needing to swallow your pride over injustice, or giving away a letter of, what did I write there? Giving away a letter of, the letter could have belonged to a child or someone innocent. So someone needing to swallow their pride over the injustice of someone giving away their letter, right? Whether this is a child or an innocent adult. So, and it could be a letter with, vulnerable information in it, like a love letter, that type of thing. So domestic harmony comes up, but even more so is moderation and creativity. No longer flirting or showing off with two women or breaking up, with Empress or Taurus and the King of Wands, the twin flames without options but dark night, facing the sealed divine feminine, so the dark night coming in to face the sealed divine feminine, or transformation of the world as the geese are flying south right at this moment. Or Scorpio and Pisces or Cancer, one in armor and one with nothing at all. After moving the King of Cups in a split, hanging out, passing downloads, and exposing all to the King of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles family, business or community, or the world at large. And that could be a legacy of money as well. Detoxing of the Six of Cups, inner children or outer children who are loving each other, and the Knight of Wands at night, taking steps as the Knight of Pentacles, is challenged by a twist of fate from the past, with Atlas dumping the wounded warrior, where the worst is over now and the bliss is coming in of the twin flame, but not sure if there's still an option, with the lies and the divide and hung out to dry, passing messages and getting sunshine, energizing and exposing the King of Swords. Grieving and detoxing in the stairway to heaven, and passion ignited here, with the Six of Cups children and the Knight of Pentacles bliss, challenged by a twist of fate. The Knight of Wands looking back at the full moon and or at night, at Atlas leaving the wounded warrior behind, with no option in a split and hung out to dry, passing downloads or information, exposing all to or about the King of Swords upright at 205, which is the High Priestess and the Hierophant, which is also freedom, change, and expansion, and the Divine Feminine. So that was the read. So let's see what comes up for you guys. I want to pull the energy deck. It's 106:54 on this clock, which is the Magician, the Lovers, and the 54 is the Page of Swords. The message of the Magician embodiment of the Lovers, and it's 2:56 on my clock, which is the High Priestess and the Two of Swords, being in your knowing and keeping it to yourself, or trying to keep your energy clear. And let's see what comes up from the energy deck. What is the message, the takeaway from this read today? The World, taking a step back and seeing the bigger picture. And that could be because of the eclipse and what's going on right now that's more important than your personal world. And 29 is being present to your gifts as well. Use your gifts to help out the world. We have two more cards that want to be seen here. We have taking action, collapsing the polarities into the center, the 17, which today's date is, of dreams coming true by the polarities collapsing into the center at the eclipse, where the earth is at the center of the moon and the sun, and the thinking woman here of the 47 of synchronicities and lots of options, dreams coming true and heaven in their eyes, with inspiration here. The butterfly is leading her into transformation here, and a strategy here, a plan to complete the cycle. Okay, so this is merging together. And then perhaps somebody else has a different plan, right? This could be somebody leaving a relationship and making a plan to complete the cycle of whatever this was, of attachments, and removing the mask. And there's that 5 again of the Hierophant, change, freedom, expansion, and that includes commitment as well, removing the mask. And then rest and rejuvenation for the masculine here. This is the sun. Time in the sun. And this literally can be the feminine and the masculine, right? The feminine needs to take off the mask and the masculine needs to take a break and not move. We had joy, we had sun, we had seasons. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun. But the wine and the, we're just seasons out of time. I can't remember the lyrics, but anyway, that's coming up right now. There's energy in between here of a child. So this can be the divine feminine inner child or somebody's child, literally. And the door to romance, right? And then here could be a grandfather or father here with the Knight of Swords. This also can be the masculine in his feminine and the feminine in her masculine. And the Magician embodiment. This is somebody getting their wish, or this can be the feminine, this can be the masculine, right? Going into the grandfatherly personality and going into the little girl. Okay? The fathering of the little girl is coming up. And it was interesting because when I went in to meditate today, my little girl she crawled up on me and she started doing butterfly lashes with me, which was really weird. She was doing butterfly lashes and then, putting her cheek on mine, and then she just lay on me. She just wanted to cuddle. It was really sweet. So it's about it's about coming together, closing the polarity gap, coming to the middle at the eclipse here, with perhaps a third person leaving the situation, or the feminine is just an early starter and getting started with her mission work and focusing on her heart, right? The door to romance, as the masculine, perhaps caught in the middle of the night, has an epiphany about what his part of the mission is. And there's that 46 of the children coming together. So we have the thinking man and the thinking woman was over here. Let me show you the order again. The bottom of the deck, by the way, is the anxiety that you're letting go of the 18 of the moon, okay? And the soul swapping machine. There are other ways of doing things, right? Look, they're closing all those doors and windows at the moon. Not able to pull people over there to swap them back to the earth again. All right. So again, taking a step back to see the big picture, being present with your gifts of polarities and collapsing at the eclipse where the earth is between the sun and the moon, literally the middle. As the feminine perhaps strikes out on her mission, perhaps that she's already in, right? Free to do what she wants to do, the thinking woman, but planning a strategy on how to complete the cycle or to write a plan, right, to complete that cycle of letting go of the mask, the attachments, to become free of any attachments that would prevent you from coming together. And the masculine needs to take a break to come back into his body, get lots of sun and exposure to rest and rejuvenate, right, to re-energize his body. As the angel of love comes in here, focusing on their heart, the door to romance, and then the magician in the mirror, who has a spark in the middle of the night, basically waking up, realizing what his part of the mission is. So that's really interesting. Okay, let's see what the Lenormand Reverie deck has for you. So from the Lenormand Reverie, well, that came right out. The 43 of the Three of Cups. And this is that, it's like the Seven of Cups in a way. Because about confusion and all the layers that you have to get through and staying in your own lane and trying to figure out the labyrinth or the maze to get to the center. Right? See, everyone's kind of like looking at every which way. They're not sure what's actually going on. They're just trying to stay in their own lane and look forward and not pay attention to what other people are doing. Just stay in your energy in order to get to where this person is, right? The person who's talking about it. And then we have the Seven of the snake, which is the vehicle of intervention, right? Or infiltration. The snake in the garden, yeah, it's poison apples, poison snake, but it's also the bacteria that gets into the clam or oyster that creates the pearl in the end. So that's what they're telling you here, right? It might be difficult at times getting through the labyrinth, but you're getting to the juicy center of the lollipop. And then we have this child in transition. So is that your inner child or your outer child in transition here? Dealing with, this could be a death of someone that you've experienced recently, but this is also the death of the old child, right? Who was scared of everything. This is the, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde here in the tomb. This can be embalming. This could be dictation. This could be going to see the doctor. But this is the dance between the masculine and the feminine, right? The Dr. Jekyll and the Mr. and Mrs. Hyde, right? The one who hides and the one who's manipulating, right? It's the dark side of the masculine and the feminine. And then we have the 37 of the King of Cups, and the time collapses. Collapsing the timelines by being in unconditional love in the present moment and using your gifts of the hermit and being stable at home. exposing the powers that be, committing to your passions, the 25 of the Knight of Wands, committing to your passions, the Circle of Trust, the Ring of Fire. There's no place like home. And the 32 of the Journey, as we're dealing with the moon right now, and the full moon eclipse. Creating a perfect environment for us with the earth in the middle at 0 point. The key to the door of the cage to set us free from the Christ vibration that we no longer need to martyr ourselves. And there's the Lover's breakthrough. The 33 of the Christ /6, which is the Mary Magdalene of dogma, and the Sun. This is the breakthrough, the key to your freedom. And then there's the new love card of well wishes, of diving deep and all that kind of stuff, and removing the mask of the innocence. Ace of Cups, Page of Cups. The face, multiple faces of vulnerability and what's underneath, okay? And then the Sun comes out again, okay? So there's a lot of beautiful energies coming up for you guys. The bottom of the deck is the 28. It's the twin flames, the choice of path, but it's of the anger of the masculine that he needs to get out and release, that last little bit, because of the burdens that he's carried of Atlas and the weight of the world. Releasing like all that he did for nothing, okay? That's coming up. And then we have, so whatever he has to let go of or is losing because he has to leave a certain job or because he's leaving a family or a relationship, he's dealing with the anger around having worked so hard for everything he did. That's also the burden of the Christ vibration that he's carrying and letting go of the martyrdom. That he just needs to be happy in his everyday. He doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. All right, so from the Journey of Love. All right, these two came right up. And there's the Christ vibration. We have the falling of the feather, being light as a feather. It's very simple, black and white. 14 is that patient angel taking one step at a time, being in that higher love. To allow yourself to fall and be light as a feather. And then we have the Christ flame of martyrdom. Okay, it's very much that energy of being the martyr. 31 is that 5 of Wands, the battle, the fight, the competition that no longer needs to be. It's just the 5 of the pursuit of happiness, of the impossible dream that's not impossible. Let it all go. Let it just be. The simple feather floating on air. Nothing to worry, no worries. All is well. We're letting go of the Christ flame here. With the ancient ones. Here's the Queen of Swords. We're letting go of the wounded warrior's wife too, right? So the Christ flame is the wounded warrior, the victim, and then we have the Queen of Swords who is the warrior's, widow. So that we're letting go of both of those things. And allowing in the light. The angel of Jupiter awakening, right? Staying in your own lanes and just allowing time to merge the two lanes together because they naturally come together. There's not a thing you need to do. It's just right at the right node point. The 6 of the Lovers, the angel of Jupiter awakening, and Jupiter's Sagittarius, which is the north node we're letting go, the last of that. It's all about letting go of too much of things, right? Sagittarius is about expansion and knowledge. And, the accelerator without the brake. So it's about seeing where you're on the accelerator without the brake in your life. So you can let that go and no longer have those issues anymore of overindulging in things. 6 of the Lovers, in order to have a peaceful connection. And the last one that's coming up is She is the Moon. All right, so there's the 21 of the world, completion. And dealing with letting go of the false light of the moon or the false ideas of what the divine feminine is, right? And these two cards definitely want to come together here. So we're getting the gold and the silver energies. The silver is the gate of the human condition. The gold gate is that of the Godhead condition. And this is the between state over here. So letting go letting go of being either side, right? The human side or the God side, but just being in the middle between the gates. Staying at that 0 point, the day the earth stood still, right? So we have the moon and the sun and the earth between. The masculine and the feminine, as they stay in their own lanes, merge together. This is where the action takes place. This card comes up to the guardian of the soul family. So again, coming together in the vortex. With child makes 3 perhaps, but there's always some kind of third energy involved here. And then we have the bottom of the deck, which is Essential Awakening, which is the 64, which is reversed in this read, which is all about the bliss. When the swords are dropping out of your back, that's the bliss. The Essential Awakening of the power everywhere. Not just putting the power one place or another, but having the power everywhere. The bliss of feeling that sensation. And the spaces between the words, 24 is the Queen of Wands. And again, here's that 2D energy of something flat, which can fall in the space between to absorb some of that negative energy so that your cells, as they get lighter and lighter, don't actually have to contain that negative energy. To contain the balance of Essential Awakening, let the pain go. Not carrying the pain body anymore. Allowing the pain body to fall into the spaces between instead. That your actual cells, your actual space doesn't have to carry that negativity anymore. It's a really cool energy. All right, so let's see here. The first card out was Falling, number 14. And that one says, don't worry, you may fear you're falling, but it's just your soul diving deeper into the ocean of bliss. Are you sensing parts of your life flying away from you, out of your control, as the momentum of your divine surrender takes over and becomes more powerful than the old adhesive between you and what no longer serves? Laugh, cry, celebrate, and ponder. Whether it makes sense or not, you are like a perfectly ripe fruit falling from the universal tree, succulent and ready to be enjoyed for all that you are. If you wait any longer, this moment will be lost and you'll end up on the ground, having to decay and go back to seed in order to start the whole process again. And this is not so bad, but what a shame if your sweet nectar was not to be savored by a hungry world. You deserve to be declared the most delicious, juicy fruit, and the juicy fruit at the center of the pop, that ever was. So fall. You'll end up exactly where you're meant to be. This oracle contains a message for you. You're being called closer into divine union and into the fulfillment of your destiny now. It's safe for you to trust what is happening. Go with it. It might seem like you're being asked to take a leap of faith. It's the right timing for that. It's your time to give yourself in love without holding back anything of yourself. Is it wrong to love, to feel what I hold inside? The answer must wait. Make sure to drink water, plenty of fluids. It helps with your connection. Make sure to get plenty of rest so that you feel good. Make sure to get some joy in your day and some nature there. Ground your feet into the grass or hug a tree, whatever you like to do. Salt baths help too. You can gargle with salt water too to clear out your throat. And any which way but loose. Foot loose, everybody, foot loose. All right, so yeah, just take a deep breath. Let the rest of that go. It was just 23, which is the King of Wands, and 23, which is the King of Wands and the Journey. So you have your message. It was some beautiful messages today. So just go with the flow and rise and be love. I'll see you guys soon. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you.